Greetings, I am standing in front of a fir tree in an Appalachian forest here in North Carolina. Now when you think of this tree, you associate it with Christmas, don't you? And with what do you associate Christmas? Likely with the birth of Christ, because that is what Christians always did, right? Well, beloved, I hate to disappoint you, but the answer is no. In fact, in America Christmas had been banned until less than 200 years ago. The Puritans found the Christmas holiday of itself wrong, for it indeed is of Roman Catholic origin. However, that the Puritans weren't the killjoys we're told they were. As you can see here, Thanksgiving wouldn't even be a thing without the Puritans. Besides, they were responsible for Massachusetts becoming the first state to outlaw slavery, which is not to say that today's Protestants would be the biggest fans of them. In fact, the vast majority of them did practice infant baptism, but as did the early church. Oh, and here is how the man viewed as the prince of preachers by
The early
many.
church
Never
Charles
celebrated
hadn't
the birth of Christ at all. It wasn't until Constantine Christianized pagan practices of his kingdom to make it a quote-unquote holy day. It may sound nitpicky, but you may be shocked when you read what God does when people worship
two
him
sons
in the
of
unauthorized
Aaron.
way. Nadab and Abiud took each his censer, and put fire therein, and threw incense thereon, and offered strange fire before the Lord, which the Lord did not command them, and fire came forth from the Lord, and devoured them, and they died before the Lord. Now brethren, did you notice that God didn't forbid this fire? He however did not command it at all. Therefore don't play with God's law. Also, if you do historical research, you will find out that Christ was born in September, but as we mentioned before, we never were commanded to acknowledge his birth. Now indeed, I have gotten in trouble at church for this message, but the truth offends, which is not to say I hate fir trees. In fact, I love those. But unlike you, I prefer them to stay outside, and I don't decorate them. Besides, what saith scriptures regarding this very matter? For the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen, with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold, they fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. It's been said that this ain't about a Christmas tree, but the similarity remains. Prior to this, in verse 2 the prophet Jeremiah warns not to learn the way of the heathen. A common argument to justify Christmas is be the meat sacrificed to idols. However, this doesn't allow to sacrifice the meat, and we are doing that by partaking in foreign worship. So what can we do on a day like Christmas? Well, certainly we can sing songs about the advent of Christ, but I ain't partaking in the Christ Mass, and that's what Christmas means. Christ Mass, to murder Christ. I do hope this encourages you to honor God instead of making a golden calf like Aaron did.